What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, guys, we have the fourth build of the playoff build series, for the Pacers team. And we have obviously the point guard, the creator, the first pro tuned that we have of the playoff build series. I didn't make a video on this one, but I have been playing on this build as my main point guard. It's been a lot of fun. As somebody who actually utilizes playmaking and passing a lot, and I take very big pride, or a lot of pride in my capabilities of being a good point guard. Obviously, like a lot of us will make mistakes and whatever, and I'm not going to say I'm the best point guard of all time, or the most consistent, obviously, but I definitely do take pride in my capabilities of being a really good point guard for the team. Trying to get everybody the ball when they're open. Obviously there's like times where I feel like I'm being a little bit too greedy, but like that happens. And I make mistakes, getting too greedy on my shot attempts or trying to get to the basket or whatever. But this build definitely has been a lot of fun to me. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to go in here to the actual builder, just like always, just to show you guys the more in-depth stats and take a look at all the badges and everything as per usual. So I don't know why they were showing off in like the background there being able to do dunks, considering that we have a 40 fucking driving dunk. So the fact that they were showing us dunking with this build makes no sense to me, but it's just kind of like whatever at that point. But we do have an 85 driving layup, which is pretty solid. We're not going to be able to get physical finisher at all, though, unfortunately. And we're also not able to get aerial wizard, but we do have that silver float game as well, which we can get upgraded to gold if we use 3 cap breakers on our driving layup. And also we do have layup mix master on silver, which we're not able to get leveled up either. So silver layup mix master, no aerial wizard, no physical finisher, but we do have silver float game that can be upgraded to gold if we get the 88 driving layup. And that's pretty much really about it for that. Another thing is that you do have the ability to use 3 cap breakers on close shot to get that paint prodigy badge. And I know some people are going to be like, why would you want to do that? But trust me, paint prodigy helps a lot, because if you do happen to get like a weird, like little floater animation in, underneath the basket or whatever, there's just a very good reason to have it on at least bronze. I try to make sure to have it on at least bronze a lot of the time, just for the sake of being able to have that badge. So if I do get underneath the basket, or if I get like a weird animation underneath the basket, then I can at least have paint prodigy help me a little bit, increase my ability to just get up there. Because obviously, if you guys remember before, I think there was a badge, in previous years where it helps you get up quicker for layups. I forget what it's called, but when you're doing like standing dunks and standing layups underneath the basket, it helps you like get up there quicker. I forget what it's called, but paint prodigy does the same thing. Improves the player's ability to get quickly and efficiently score down low. So it says improves a player's ability to quickly and efficiently score down low, kind of like, giving you that increased shot percentage as well, like from the previous badges, as well as give you the other badge where it increased your speed on those animations. So that's why paint prodigy is really good, because it at least gives you a little bit of a quicker animation on these down low, standing layup animations, or these floaters and whatnot when you're down low in the paint. So that's why I really like having this badge on at least bronze. I know some people probably just don't even bat an eye towards it, but I definitely do think it is a pretty decent badge because of just the first part of it alone. Quickly improves your speed on those animations. That's the main reason why I definitely do like it. But most of the time we are going to be doing driving layups and everything, and with us having an 85 driving layup, and if you really wanted to, you can use caps on it to get float game increased, or even use all 5 to get to a 90, get your layup shot percentage even higher on that, bigger green window, stuff like that would be pretty solid. But that's pretty much about it when it comes to the finishing, because it really comes down to our playmaking. As you can see, and our shooting abilities on this build, that is like the real money maker for this build. Now we have a lower mid-range and a higher three-point rating, just like all the other builds I have talked about with the Pacers. They're not really mid-range shooters. They're not really trying to shoot the mid-range at all, but they are going to be going inside out. That's pretty much what the Pacers are all about, is their inside out play. That's what they have been known for all season long in the postseason. One of the best, if not, the best shooting team from the three all postseason. And obviously for good reason, because all their guys, they have like 9-10 players taking 3-point attempts on their team. You don't really see that often with a lot of teams having not only 9 to 10 players in the rotation consistently, but also all 9-10 of those players in the rotation taking up at least one 3-point attempt a game. I mean, you have Thomas Bryant that's shooting threes. You have literally TJ McConnell, who is not a consistent 3-point shooter, but he's still taking threes. Granted, he's not going to hit majority of them, but he will hit some. Same with Thomas Bryant, even though there was like the one game where he came out like 3 for 5 or something like that. Really, really doing work, or it was like 3 for 4 that he came out with, shooting 75% from 3. Very, very solid from Thomas Bryant, a big who, from his time on the Lakers and, everywhere else, it's not like he's really done too much when it comes to doing all that stuff, shooting 3 specifically, but he came out with the Pacers and then, started shooting threes, especially in those corners. But yeah, I mean, just definitely we have like a lot of people shooting threes. But Tyrese Haliburton, obviously not known too much for his mid-range game, but more so for his floater game and his 3-point shooting abilities, as well, obviously, as his, his playmaking. But that's why we have a 79 mid-range here with an 89 3-point rating. Definitely makes a lot of sense. 81 free throw. Obviously, if they wanted to make this, hyper realistic, I'd probably just drop it a little bit lower, considering that Tyrese Haliburton is not necessarily the best free throw shooter, because his form is definitely unorthodox, especially on his jump shot. Everybody knows that. But I definitely do feel like could have been a little bit lower, but who am I to judge? It's just a free throw. It's whatever. Obviously, some of these should be more realistic because they're Pro Tunes, but, it's whatever. I'm not going to throw a big fit over it, because a free throw is a free throw, man, and I kind of like having a decent free throw on this build, even though I still miss free throws on this build just because Tyrese's free throw animation is just kind of cheeks. Same with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons' free throw animation, even if you do time it well, you'll still miss sometimes with like an 80 free throw rating. So it's just one of those things where you will miss a lot. You will definitely miss a lot of stuff there. But so we do have a 79 mid-range. We do have an 89 3-point rating. We do have an 81 free throw as well. So that's pretty good stuff there. But the 89 free throw, or the 89 3-pointer, is practically our bread and butter for this build. We're not going to get mini marksman on this. We are not going to get post-fade phenom. So the main key thing here is that we are going to get Deadeye on silver, limitless range on silver, and shifty shooter on silver with gold set shot specialist. We're not able to get anything upgraded here. As you can see, we only get up to a 90 on our 3-point rating, so no Deadeye upgrade. We have the 89, which is for limitless range on silver, same with set shot specialist on gold, so we're not going to be able to get those upgraded. And then shifty shooter we cannot get because we cannot get to our 91. So it's practically the situation of like, if you want to, you can use caps on your mid-range if you really, really wanted to. And then you can use like one cap breaker if you have one left over on your 3-pointer if you really wanted to, just to increase your shot percentage a little bit. But it's not like it's going to matter if you have like a really good jump shot that you can time. It's not really going to matter too much. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could. I don't really see a reason for it. But yeah, I definitely like what I am seeing here from all this. So 79 mid-range, 89 3-point rating. You have an 81 free throw. Pretty good stuff here. Now we get to practically the biggest points of this build, the playmaking. Obviously, the 97 pass accuracy makes a lot of sense here. And as you can see, bailout, versatile visionary, break starter, dimer, all of these on Hall of Fame. But the tier 2 bad is break starter and dimer. you get at 98. You get a 98 pass accuracy for legend dimer and break starter, but versatile, visionary, and bailout both require a 99, which you can ultimately get. You can get a 99 pass accuracy on this build. I think, you know, majority of the builds can, like if all of them, really all of them, I believe, can get a 99 pass accuracy if you really fucking wanted to. But yeah, so pass accuracy, being able to get to a 99 using 2 caps, not a whole lot here. But yeah, using that, using the 2 caps for 99, obviously if this was like an actual build that I was trying to make, I'd probably drop the ball handling down to like a 90, 91, just so I can, you know, utilize more potential elsewhere, and then, you know, drop the pass accuracy down probably to like a 95 or a 94, just so then I can use those caps to get to a 99, so then I can use that potential elsewhere. Kind of makes sense to me why we would do that. So yeah, and I talked about it before with the defense, which we'll talk about it here in a minute. But I really wouldn't touch too much on the defensive end here. Probably like maybe get steal upgraded just a little bit, just for the sake of having it kind of like in the middle ground. Same with like the rebounding a little bit, just make it into like the middle ground. Maybe try to get to like a 60 just for LeBron's rebound chaser. Maybe get driving dunk as well up a little bit, because we know he can dunk. I mean, he was dunking. He can dunk. So maybe get it a little bit higher just for the sake of dunk and all that stuff. That's probably what I would do. But yeah, but get all of these to legend using 2 cap breakers. Pretty solid stuff there. We have a 93 ball handle, which is pretty solid. A 93 is what you need for ankle assassin on gold, but we do have handles for days and implacable. All 3 of these are gold, no strong handle, but you cannot even get any of these upgraded because the 93 ball handling is max, so no caps available. Same thing with the speed of ball being an 86. You can't use any caps here, which means that gold lightning launch is your max for that. So you can get some pretty decent animation still, though, which is pretty good. Now, we do ultimately have a 74 perimeter defense, and I talked about this before in my Andrew Nembhard build, and I also talked about it in my Aaron Nesmith build video as well, where it's like, if you want to compare the 3 best, you know, like perimeter defenders, you would have Aaron Nesmith as possibly the better one, although, you know, Andrew Nembhard kind of making a point recently, especially in game 1 of the finals, where he just kind of started showing out a little bit, especially in the 4th, guarding SGA. But, you know, Andrew Nembhard is great, but we kind of like to focus on Aaron Nesmith a lot, because Aaron Nesmith does have like a couple more inches over Nembhard. So it just gives Aaron Nesmith a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the perimeter defense, being able to get through those screens. He was fighting through the screens really hard against New York, especially to get to Jalen Brunson. But Nembhard is really, really good, but he's like kind of like the middle ground there. He would be ranked number 2. And then ranked number 3 would obviously be Tyrese Haliburton. So he would be like the lowest of the low. Give him just the bronze badges. Give him the 74 perimeter defense. Makes a lot of sense here. 85 for Andrew Nembhard. The 92 plus for Aaron Nesmith. That's just kind of how I rank them on their perimeter defense. But here makes a lot of sense because, you know, my idea and my thoughts about this align with what they have here. Giving him the 74 perimeter defense. Not giving him too much of a steal rating either, to where it's just like unbearable or whatever. Well, I feel like they still could have gave him like a 73, whatever. Because he could still get into those passing lanes. He's just not as consistent with it as like anybody else on the team. But he can. So yeah, the 74 perimeter defense, giving challenger, on ball menace, and pick dodger, giving them on bronze. You have off ball pest as well. You're not able to get immovable enforcer, but you know, you're not really going to get anything upgraded here for using caps. There's really no point, which is why I just said, fuck it, no point. And then for the steal rating, though, like I said, I probably myself would have done a 73 just for the sake of getting interceptor on silver, at least just to get a little bit of a boost into those passing lanes. But I feel like a 67 is also fine, whatever. Interceptor on bronze, glove on bronze. You're not able to get any of these upgraded with caps, so there's just really no point. And then there's no other defensive stats here, so we just immediately go to like the physicals, which we have an 81 speed, 80 agility. We know Tyrese Haliburton is not necessarily the quickest, but that's just because he's the quickest getting the ball down court. I mean, when somebody is not that quick with the ball, the quickest way that they get the ball down the court is just by passing it down the court. They love to push the pace by pushing the ball. It's not really them just like trying to, speed run the ball up the court by themselves like a De'Aaron Fox, like a John Wall, or anybody else like that, but more so just pushing the pace by passing the ball up court. And that's usually what they do, and that's what they have shown to be very, very efficient on, is when somebody scores on them, they immediately get the ball in, and then they push the pace by pushing the ball down court if they do have the numbers advantage down the court. Now, if they are lacking on defense, that's what they would do. But if they're not lacking on defense, then, they kind of just wait and they just push the ball up normally. But if the defense isn't back, then, it's just them pushing the ball up pretty quickly, scoring pretty damn much one-on-one down the court on a fast break, even though it wasn't even a transition. It was like literally off of a scored bucket. Crazy. But 81 speed, 80 agility. We have no high flying denier because of our vertical and block. That's whatever, though. We do have slippery off ball on silver, which you can get on gold if you use caps on speed. And then we also have our 80 agility, which does give us our on-ball menace, pick dodger, both home runs, or shifty shooter on silver, as well as our slippery off ball on silver, which we can, get the gold, like I mentioned, because of speed, because we already have the agility for it. Strength being a 50, nothing really important to talk about here because you really need a 60 strength in order to get, some of the badges going. But, we can't really get there using caps. And then we have a 51 vertical, which, obviously, as you can see, we could potentially get Aerial Wizard because of our driving layup, but we don't get the caps for it because we need 7 caps, which is very, very unfortunate. But like I said, I would probably, drop the pass accuracy and the ball handling down just a little bit, just so that I can utilize cap breakers there, and then try to get like the vertical and the driving dunk up a little bit more, just for the sake of being able to, get a driving dunk at least. So I'm not really worried about doing layup animations every single time. So I can get those driving dunks and also just be able to be more effective, especially like on rebounds and stuff like that. Kind of like how Tyrese is. I mean, 10 rebounds, 14 points in like the first game of the finals, even though he only got like 6 assists, but he was still able to be pretty good on the rebounding game, getting a double-double rebounds as a point guard. Kind of good. But yeah, man, I'm just going to go ahead back out here and then go into the shades of section, the next section here. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Steve Nash being there, Tyrese Haliburton, and they have Spencer Dinwiddie for some fucking dumbass reason. Makes no sense to me. I would have put John Stockton here. If you want my opinion, I would have put John Stockton. Even though John Stockton has better defense than Tyrese Haliburton. But if you are looking for a build that is necessarily, like a really, really good passer that can shoot the ball pretty well, yeah, Steve Nash, John Stockton, those kind of players would make a lot of sense in here. Not Spencer Dinwiddie, though. Not Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie ain't like that. I don't remember Spencer Dinwiddie passing like Steve Nash and Tyrese Haliburton. 2K, what are we talking about here, man? What exactly are we talking about with Spencer Dinwiddie being on the same list as Steve Nash and Tyrese Haliburton? Spencer Dinwiddie can shoot the shot. Yes, he can. He can pass the ball a little bit. Yes, he can. But is it going to be to the extent of what Steve Nash and Tyrese Haliburton can, or John Stockton? No, I don't believe that for a single fucking minute. That's why John Stockton should be on this list other than Spencer Dinwiddie, man. Steve Nash, Tyrese Haliburton, John Stockton, that should be the 3 shades of, man. I definitely do believe that. But obviously, we would need more defense for it to be John Stockton, which I ultimately respect and I acknowledge. But Spencer Dinwiddie, just because we don't have the defense for John Stockton? Come on, man. That's why you see John Stockton up there on that shades of instead of Spencer Dinwiddie. And that's why I do my own shades of, because some of these shades of don't make sense to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section down below. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy. That's going to be it for me. I'll see you all on the next one. Later, everybody.